Good morning. My name is Payton Bieber, and I'd like to start off with a little story about the promises, or what was the promise of nuclear energy. Nuclear energy, when it was first discovered, invented, it was seen as the future of energy. We got like the Jetsons, the little flying cars and everything. It was seen as a promising, clean source of energy that would fuel the future, that would bring hope, and we'd all live with a green, happy world. But there are drawbacks to nuclear power, and one of these is radiation. Now, radiation can be a very dangerous thing. In fact, some radiation has actually found its way over to the U.S. from Japan with the recent tsunamis and reactor leaks. So, in the speech, I would like to inform you on the dangers of radiation. First, I will tell you about radiation in general. Then I will tell you about radiation getting into the air and water. And I will tell you about radiation getting into the food. Now, radiation is caused by nuclear energy. It's a byproduct. It's little particles that are sent from the nuclear energy. It gives off energy itself, and it can cause potential damage. Now, there are two types of radiation. There's ionized radiation and non-ionized radiation. But the dangerous one that's linked to nuclear energy is ionized radiation. Now, there are 4 different categories of ionized radiation. And first we have alpha radiation. That's the least dangerous type of radiation. That cannot penetrate skin, it cannot penetrate clothing, it's just the weakest form of it. Now we have beta radiation, which actually can penetrate clothing and also skin, and it can also cause internal damage to the organs and stuff. And the worst type is gamma and X-ray radiation. Now those are the most severe forms that can actually cause physical damage to your skin and internal organs. Now, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission says that if the population was exposed to about 3,500 to 5,000 millisieverts, that population would die within 30 days to a severe exposure of an hour. Now, what millisieverts is how radiation is measured. It's how radiation is decaying. It's how frequent that radiation is decaying. And so, if someone was exposed to a high amount of millisieverts, they actually could come in contact with their chances of cancer would increase, like leukemia or breast cancer, lung cancer, skin cancer, and all sorts of different other cancers that you can think of. We get about 50-50. We're exposed to radiation, and it's split almost down the center of 50-50. Half of it comes from nature itself, from the sun, from rocks, water. It's just a natural source. It's in our lives daily. And the other half is from medical procedures such as X-rays and CT scans. Now, these medical procedures, you're being exposed to radiation at a very minimal rate, a very split second, and it causes no damage whatsoever, no damage at all. But if these procedures were to last for minutes, 10 minutes, maybe an hour, you would start feeling illnesses, which is radiation illness. Now, radiation illness can cause nausea, vomiting. You would feel lightheaded. You would have to lay down and just take it easy. And the best way to prevent radiation illness, if you were ever to get radiation on you, is to simply take off the contaminated clothes and wash your hands. That gets rid of about 90% of radiation itself, so it's easily protected. So, how radiation can get into the air and water is that once the reactor will split, it will have a crack, and it will shoot radiation out into the air. and the air, and then those radiated particles that combines with dust and various other particles that are floating around in the air will fall to the ground. And when it falls onto the ground, it can get into water, and food. Now, water, such as like the seawater, it can contaminate. It can affect fish, sea life, such as like there's various fish, some shellfish, and any other one like fishermen even. So what has been seen is that radiation, fish are contaminated. They're like actually giving off a high radiation. High radiation levels. So what the scientists are afraid of is those fish migrating to different parts of the world, and if someone were to eat that contaminated fish, or have that contaminated oyster, they could actually cause damage to themselves they would eat it, and it would. That's one of the main ways radiation damages us, is by eating it or consuming it, by somehow getting into a cut or eating it itself in general. So the water, and actually Japan has told parents around the area of the reactors to stop giving tap water to their infants, because it's actually was contaminated with high levels of radiation, several millions times the actual legal amount. So no, and that also goes for food. So once again, radiation is shot into the air, falls onto the ground, the grass, or falls onto the grass. Now, cows eat grass, and the cows make milk. And the milk is, milk from the farmers, so then it's exported to other countries. And so then we have contaminated milk. It's just the chain reaction, the domino effect, it could be messy. But as long as we can catch it, it doesn't really pose a threat to us, and it's not as much of a danger. Vegetables like lettuce and spinach, they actually can gather more radiation, because once those particles fall, their open leaves catch the radiation, and so they can actually have higher levels of radiation than, say, like a carrot or a potato that grows in the ground. So, in this speech, I've informed you on the dangers of radiation. I've told you about radiation in general. I've informed you about radiation getting in the air and water. And I have also told you about radiation getting into food. And so, as you can see, the promising hopes and dreams that scientists have for nuclear energy comes with its drawbacks, and radiation is one of those drawbacks. Thank you.